I would say that when taking the photos and video b-rolls of the Audeze MM-100, I made a mistake. I didn't quite realize at the moment I was taking the photos and the video b-rolls that stereo cables don't work with those. So today we are here to explain that and to explore the sound of the Audeze MM-100. This is a pair of headphones priced at $399. They have planar magnetic drivers developed by one of the first companies to truly adopt and develop planar magnetic drivers. So we could start with the cable because that's where the trouble started, right? First off, we have the Audeze adapter, which is ubiquitous at this point. I have seen this so many times and it's still a welcome addition to any package. It is a 6.3mm single-ended input jack to a 3.5mm male jack. This will go into most headphone outputs and it will be necessary if you don't have a large jack output at the source. The main cable is quite long. Quite long. This is 2 to 3 meters, I think it's 3 meters. It has a 6.3mm single-ended jack for the source and the headphones use a single 3.5mm jack. When I saw 3.5mm jacks, I assumed they are stereo. I assumed that you need two, like with most hi-fi headphones, Sivga headphones, all headphones. Basically all headphones use that. Audeze had a complex plan in mind for MM-100. So you have a 3.5mm jack on each cup, but you can connect either. You are not forced to connect the right or the left ear cup. They have an internal wire and they will use the signal from either cup. That's super nice, especially for studio. This is a studio headphone made for music mixing, mastering and music work in general, where you have limited space, and especially when you work in a studio, you want to not have a single wearing style already selected for you. Right now I have the cable set on the right side, which is unusual. Typically it's on the left, so it looks kind of like this. You see, it's on the right side. Even I am not used to this, but as you can see, they look really nice in person. The wearing comfort of the MM-100 is tight. They are a tight pair of headphones with a somewhat large weight, so they feel quite heavy on my head, because they are some of the heaviest headphones that I have reviewed to date. I was able to measure a weight of 471 grams. This makes them almost half a kilo and one of the heaviest headphones that I've reviewed. That's not so much of an issue because the headband and the earpads all distribute a weight around your head, so there is no hotspot. They feel comfortable while being on, although the clamping force is quite tight too. The idea of the earpads is that they have this funnel-like shape where they funnel their position to always fall at the same position. Although with most headphones you can adjust the sound slightly when moving them on your head and around your ears. For a mixing and a mastering headphone, you want to have consistently the same sound every single time. That's important because let's say you are mixing and working on a song today and tomorrow you start again and the headphones are moved slightly to the front. The whole work is going to need reworking because you moved the headphones. Audeze managed to eliminate that by having the entire headphone in a convex shape toward the center. So what they do is that they always fall at the same position. You can't really make them sit at any other position. My ears always fall right dead on the center. That's super nice. It's important for a mixing and a mastering headphone. As you can see, having long hair doesn't work so well with headphones because you get a somewhat funny look. But the comfort is actually good to very good, especially for mixing and for mastering. The cable quality is very good. Although I expected it to be springy and I remember it to be springy and somewhat angle prone, it's still straight and I could do this all day. The cable will never tangle, you see? So this is an actual test of tangling. It's completely tangle free. How cool is that? Not every single cable has this ability. Some cables will tangle and will require you even 10 minutes of untangling, but for a studio headphone, once again, it's important that the cable stays tangle free, you know? You can pack it like this and you're good to go. The headphones are made really nicely, so a lot of people purchase the Audio-Technica M50X for studio. That's because M50X can truly take a beating. It's a headphone that you are going to trash in the studio and still is going to work. It's also very affordable, so the affordability part is important for a studio because in a studio the work is not organized. I have seen people smoking in the studio, people even drinking while working. eating at the same mixing table. So you want the headphones to survive that kind of rough usage. Audeze MM-100 is super nice in design. It is metallic. As you can see, the entire frame is made of metal, super resistant to actual usage. You can't break them, you can't really damage them, super nice. They are also super affordable at $399 US. They offer almost the same performance as Audeze MM-500. There is some upgrade to be had in the MM-500, but it's close enough that you are purchasing with a limited budget a headphone that has ultra high performance. Really satisfied with that. The branding is super nice on the headphones, so they look well made on the entire headphone. They have super nice details. There is no open edge. Everything is just combined perfectly. At the top, Audeze quality, although the pricing is super affordable. MM-100 is really easy to drive, and that was an important aspect of them, because once again, in a studio, you don't have access to a good audiophile DAW. This is the Ibezo DX180, and it's superb. It doesn't cost that much. It's $529 US, so it's super affordable for a high-end audiophile DAW, but it's unlikely that you'll have access to it in a studio. In a studio, you typically have Audiente Evo 4 or Scarlett 2E interface, anyways, something really entry-level. And Audeze MM-100 stays consistent with most interfaces. That's super nice. Most sources will give them about the same sound. They don't scale with the source. They don't really change sonic character with the source. They don't reveal the source noise, which is also important. So basically they will stay consistent. And consistency in music work is super important. For a studio headphone, absolutely perfect. I did actual music work with them. I tend to mix and master my own videos. I tend to do sound design for my game, for Eternal Hour, which is upcoming very soon. Also, I do a lot of other miscellaneous music work. So I tend to work a lot with sound design. For that, I think the MM-100 is quite perfect. And the most important part about all this is the sound. MM-100 is the definition of neutrality. It's dead on neutral, and that's perfect, because you want to hear exactly what you're doing to the track. If the track is wide, they will sound wide. If the track is narrow, they will sound narrow. If the track is bright, they will sound bright. And if the track is dark, they will sound dark. They reveal everything. They don't have quite the same resolution as MM-500, so the MM-100 tends to be a bit less detailed, but they are plenty detailed. Comparing them to our Audio-Technica M50X is like comparing M50X to a 10 USD pair of supermarket headphones. The difference is astonishing. You basically upgrade every single aspect of the sound without paying that much more, because at $399 US, once again, the price is super acceptable for a high-end headphone to be used in a studio setup. And here is the thing. After listening to enough music, I actually found that I like this kind of studio sound where I get the perfect resolution, revealing ability and clarity that a studio headphone has to offer. MM-100 is also quite different from most studio headphones that we reviewed, especially around the same price point, because while Audeze knew that you need neutrality, you need perfect resolution, other companies went for a different approach. For example, Olo S5X will sound much warmer, smoother, will have a much fuller bass, and will just sound easier to listen to. That's great if you are working long hours, but it's also not great if you need to know what's in the track. A big part of MM-100 is that you know what's in the track. And to be a good master, to be a good engineer in the sound, you need to know what's in the track. I keep repeating that, but this is what they allow you to do. MM-100 allows you to know what's in the track. They reveal every single bit of relevant information. Of course, there are audiophile headphones that can reveal much more, and for $399 US, they reveal everything that an engineer should know. They aren't made in the same vein, like, for example, here we have a true audiophile headphone that I had on my desk. This is the T+A Solitaire PSA. This is a headphone that's priced way above the MM-100. It's more than 10 times the price, if not even more. But the performance of the PSA can reveal even more information. Even MM-500 can reveal more information, Audeze LCD5 can reveal more information, a lot of headphones can reveal more information. But the information that the biggest part of the customers that will listen to the track will hear is presented by MM-100 quite clearly. So most people tend to listen to music on a smartphone, on a tablet, in the car, at radio, YouTube, And there a lot of dynamic compression is happening, so MM-100 once again is quite perfect for all those scenarios. They have this neutral sound that will reveal music as it is. You'll hear a good natural voicing, you'll hear a strong bass impact, you'll also hear a bright and sharp treble, strong air, and a high overall resolution of the sound. MM-100 is remarkably clean and clear. Since they stay so consistent with multiple sources, they are always reliable to let you know how the song sounds like and not how the setup sounds like, which for an audiophile can be a break thing because, you know, as an audiophile, you want to experiment, you want to fine tune, you want to experience the music more, but for an engineer, you have to stay consistent. You have to consistently hear the same things because otherwise you will change opinions and you'll keep working on the same track forever. I experienced this myself. For example, when you are working with speakers, I have near field speakers, big field speakers, floor standing speakers, bookshelf speakers. With speakers, you tend to get a slightly different sound if you move from the central point of listening. And then you start thinking, maybe I should move the stereo image a bit to the left or to the right. Maybe I should do something to the width of the stereo image. And then you start working, you work, you finish the mix, and the next day you are sitting in a different position and you have to start the process all over again. MM-100, the headphone that shows you what is in the track. Those ones will never change. They sound exactly the same every single time. There is no burning effect that I could detect, nothing. They always sound the same. And that's great because your tracks will stay consistent. If not consistent with them, I mean, a radio will not sound like those. The tracks will stay consistent with you. You will hear the same thing every single time and you will have the ability to reproduce it every single time. Please subscribe, please like the video, and if it's not too much to ask, please use the purchase links in the video description as they give us a few pennies and we are able to keep the studio running. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to donate directly, if I've been a good host and if you are feeling generous, we have a PayPal link in the video description for donations. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see each other really soon. Bye!